Hello everybody and welcome to another video of the Simplified opening series. In this video I would like to show you one line against the Scotch with the black pieces, which drew my attention some years ago, I would say. And it drew my attention because I found it as a very kind of a positional, straightforward, easy to play line with the black pieces, avoiding most of the theory, and one that is I found it comfortable from the black side. The reason I'm recording this video now is that not long ago, this very line was used by none other than the World Champion Gukesh in his game against Vachier Lagrave at the recent Grand Chess Tour tournament. And as we shall see, I think Gukesh possibly misplayed the opening, but hopefully we can do better than that. So let's get going. Let's see what I have in mind. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, takes on d4, knight takes d4. And now for a very long time, the main move and probably the main, let's say, culprit for the decline in popularity of the Scotch has been the move knight f6. The lines after knight c3, bishop b4 have long been established to be drawish and offering nothing for white. But the point is that after knight takes c6, b takes c6, e5, queen e7, queen e2, yeah, knight d5, there is a big amount of theory, and this big amount of theory and analysis has proven that black is perfectly fine. And, well, out of necessity, the Scotch aficionados were basically forced out of their opening because simply there was nothing left to play for in these lines. However, personally, I have always found these lines a bit strange because there's nothing really classical in them. You could see it's a strange pawn structure. The pieces are going strange places. I don't know, just make moves like c4, bishop a6, pinning the queen. Queen is in the way. Queen is in the way. This knight is off. It drops back to b6, and after b3, both the knight and the bishop are out of the game. Black finds some counterplay. I never found this comfortable from the black side. So, therefore, I was always attracted to the other main move, and that is the move bishop c5. It looks much more classical, yeah, you could say, a developing move, developing the bishop, and the positions are more, let's say, well, easier to recognize if nothing else, not like the sketchy, patchy lines from the knight f6 line after knight c6, bc6. So now I won't go into the details of the other lines. I will just show you the main one that is considered, well, is a critical one, and that is the move knight b3 after bishop c5, attacking the bishop. I'll just mention that there is bishop e3. It was considered the main line many years ago, especially in the 90s when Kasparov was playing it a lot. Nowadays it's pretty fine for black, as is knight c6, where black can recapture with the pawn, can even main move being queen f6, threatening mate, yeah, and then recapturing the knight mostly with the d pawn. And there is also knight f5, but also that's been considered to be quite good for black, especially after d5. So I won't go into these. I'll just concentrate on the main move, knight b3, bishop drops back to b6, and now knight c3. And it's funny because this was the line that I recommended for white in my chessable course 1e4 simplified. I found it quite interesting to play with white, especially as in many lines there are positions with opposite side castling, with attacks and so forth. And even though this line that I'm going to demonstrate here from the black side has been known for some time, it was never really considered critical or even far from being mainstream, obviously. So I didn't even consider it as worthy to include it in that repertoire. Afterwards, after some students pointed this out, I added some comments on it, but as the development has progressed, it appears that the line is actually quite good for black, and even more so easy to play. This doesn't mean that white cannot play it. By all means, no, white can play this line. It leads to equal positions and definitely playable ones. But okay, since we are talking from the black side in this video, I'll show it why I found it so, let's say, attractive and practical. The move here, there are many moves for black, obviously, knight f6, knight g7, d6, and so on. But the move that starts the line is the move queen f6. Yeah, it's a pretty blunt move, threatening mate on f2. Yeah, and white's main move here is the move queen e2. If something like queen f3, obviously some d6 can be played, and then some natural development, bishop e6, long castle, and so on. The other alternative is the move f4, which is rarely played. After knight g7, black is actually very close to taking over the initiative if he manages to push through d5. For example, there was a game between Jobava and Grandelius in 2021. After bishop d2 d5, e5 knight b4, already black was had initiative as white had a weakened king. f4 is completely out of place here. So f4 is pretty much never played. Queen e2, defense against mate. And now black plays the move knight g7. So we see that the queen is not on d8, the queen is on f6, more actively placed. And the whole, you could say, revelation about this line is that it was discovered that the queen is actually quite okay, even when it's harassed after h4 and queen g and bishop g5. We will see this in the lines that I'm about to show you. Now white has two moves. One is the straightforward bishop e3, trying to neutralize the bishop on b6 and preparing a long castle. This, for example, was played in the game I mentioned, Vachier Gukesh. And this was the moment where I think Gukesh misplayed the opening or simply wanted a sharper fight, maybe, against Vachier. Because as we will see later on in this line, black's main idea is to castle long. So black goes something like d6, bishop goes to e6, and castles long. White also castles long, and this gives rise to some positional play, some calmer middle game, which is quite comfortable for black. That's why I'm, let's say, kind of in favor of this line from black side. But Gukesh played short castle. Then after long castle d6, Vachier played queen d2. The engine suggests a move like h4, but in all these lines, the engine seems to be favoring white to a pretty good extent, which I mean means that the engine evaluates these white's chances of some sort of an attack on the king side as bigger than black creating something on the queen side. So Gukesh even went on to lose this game, so maybe this won't help the popularity of this plan of short castle. That's why I think after bishop e3, it's best for black just to continue with the usual plan, d6. And this is another good aspect of the whole line, that black can play it basically automatically. d6 is played, and the bishop is developed to d7 or e6, long castle. And then after some sensible moves happen, the queen can move from f6, then f5 is a break in the center. So not that many different ideas for black. They are more or less always the same. The moves are almost always the same, and the best part is that they give black excellent play. So just a simple line, let's say long castle, bishop d7, let's say h4 now, long castle, yeah, g3, yeah, king b8, okay, bishop g2 to develop the bishop. And now many moves. Rook he8 is one move, another one is h6 intending g5. And this is already it's a middle game where black is very well harmoniously developed. The queen is not exposed on f6, yeah, and all the pieces are there's very nice central control, yeah. All these squares in the center are controlled. So basically, the whole fifth rank is under control. Okay, not b5, a5. The whole fifth rank is under control. So black has a pretty safe position. The same can be said after the immediate h4. The idea is to develop the bishop in a more active position to g5. But like I said, there's, let's say, some sort of revelation was that the queen can allow itself to be harassed. Let's say d6, bishop g5, and queen e6. And again, nothing happens to the queen. Now long castle is the main move. The move a4 was played in the game Pragnananda Vidit, played in London last year. But after a6, now let's say long castle, bishop d7 is possible. Vidit played f6, another possible move to chase away the bishop and possibly drop the queen back to f7, bishop e3, take on e3, queen e3, bishop d7, king b1, and long castle. And again, you see automatic moves, nothing to invent here. Very simple play, equal position without any problems. And even though, okay, Pragnananda eventually won the game, the position is equal now. It was equal for a very long time. The immediate long castle is, well, more natural, I would say. If white wants to castle long, why insert a4, which, well, weakens the queen side. And now again, a lot of moves that give black easy and equal play. Let's start with h6, getting rid of the bishop. Yeah, drops back to e3, bishop d7, queen d2, castles long. Take on b6, a b6, bishop b5. And now one of the ideas that I mentioned, breaking the white's grip in the center thanks to this e4 pawn, which gives him some sort of a space advantage. f5, trying to exchange pawns with equality. Yeah. Another move after long castle is the move f6, getting rid of the bishop from the other side. Bishop draws back to e3, and now again bishop d7, king b1, long castle, g3, rook h, e8. So simply centralizing, putting the pieces in the center. Yeah, if bishop h3 as it was played in the game, yeah, the queen simply draws back to f7. Take on d7, rook d7. Yeah, and again equality and no problems for black. This was played in Alberto David with white, Michele Godena with black. The game ended in a draw. And the third move is like ignoring the bishop, going bishop d7 and preparing long castle. Again, let's see if g3 with the idea of bishop h3. Yeah, but again, nothing really can happen to the queen. Long castle, bishop h3, queen g6. Yeah, and even here the queen is fine because h5 is not possible. Queen g5 wins a piece. Take on d7, rook d7, f4. Now defending the bishop and threatening h5, but now f6. f5, queen draws back to f7, and if bishop f4, d5, exchanging the pawns and obtaining equality. Again, Deshmukh Koneru played last year. And the last move after bishop d7, okay, to consider, queen d2, for example, yeah? But again, long castle, f3, h6, bishop e3, queen e3, king b8, bishop b5, and f5 again. The break, trying to exchange the pawn on e4, that gives white some space advantage in the center. This, for example, was played in the game Shankland Rapport in St. Louis in 2021. And that's pretty much about it. You can see that it's a very simple line, very straightforward, very safe. Move orders don't matter so much. Black is playing the same moves all the time, developing the bishop, castling long, playing f6, playing h6, the queen draws back to f7, pushing f5 to get rid of the pawn on e4. That's it. So I hope you like this, because I certainly did when I discovered this line from Black's perspective and looking at it in a bit more depth. And you could see also Gukesh played it, even though I think it was perhaps too ambitious to go short castle. But, well, okay, what to do. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider supporting my work by becoming a paid subscriber to my Substack. I would really appreciate that. And of course, if you haven't done so, make sure you smash that subscribe button. And again, thank you so much for your support. Recently, I crossed 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. It really means a lot. Thank you for your support and following me and watching my videos. Okay, so that would be it for now. Another short and sweet video here, and hopefully another opening problem solved. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon again. Cheers.